Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show with me, Kavita Thapliyal. Now, despite the recent bull run in Indian equity markets, SIP investors are hitting the pause button. Now, data by Association of Mutual Funds of India shows that SIP closures rose 7.4% month on month in May. So, what's driving retail investors to hit the pause button, and what kind of trend can we expect going ahead? Let's welcome on board Piyush Chandra, Head Mutual Fund Products, IIFL Securities, and take the discussion forward. Piyush, good evening and welcome to the show. I hope the story changes next time whenever you're on the show, looking at the market high that we've achieved today. But then talking about the recent data that's in public domain, it really shows a point of concern where investors are hitting a pause button in their SIPs. Could you elaborate and decode this data for us?
Good evening, Kavita. Obviously, today is a very historic day as the market has hit actually, a new high. Uh, no, there has been a concern on the SIP pause, which is which has risen around 7.4% month-on-month basis. But I honestly don't foresee this as a very, very, big challenge, because if at the same time, if you look at, the kind of SIP inflows that we are having, now that is also at the historic highs. So, obviously, this is a little concerning, but I wouldn't say this is very alarming for all of us.
All right. So now when we talk about investors hitting a pause button, what exactly is the fund category that we are talking about over here? Mainly equity oriented, but then more mid cap, small cap, or we are also looking at a large cap fund category?
So it is broadly, it is across, it is not only large cap or mid cap or small cap. Even on the thematic side, we are seeing some pause buttons being hit, and as I told you, this is a little concerning, but not very alarming, because of the fact, because more and more retail participation is being there in the market from quite some time, and that's what actually taking the markets ahead. Because if you look some time back, the most of the foreign investors were actually exiting the market. It was the domestic institution investors and the retail participation that actually helped the market to sustain at a decent level. And SIP inflows have played a very, very crucial part in retail participation in India.
All right. Now, it's a typical investor mentality. When they see volatility, they are not quite confident about the market movement ahead, and they might just stop their investment. One good thing over here is it's just a pause button, Piyush, and it is not a redemption, or it is not just stopping your investments. As compared to the kind of awareness we had pre-pandemic, I think during the pandemic, people have really understood the importance of investing at all levels in the market, and that is doing by doing an SIP, because it not only gives you discipline but also allows you to participate in all market levels. We have hit a new market high, historic level. Okay, at this point in time, for all the investors who are just thinking as to should they be continuing their investments or maybe just book some profit and just come out of it, what would you like to tell them and how would you guide them?
So obviously, as we all know and understand, that it is not about only timing or investing in the market. It's about how long you have invested, because that's when you actually get the real compounding, and that's where your money multiplies. So it's very, very critical from an investor point of view to stay invested and keep accumulating, because obviously I know we are looking at historic highs. But remember this, in 2000 or in 2008, markets were at all-time peak. But now when we look at those levels, let's say in 2000, we were around 1700 levels in Nifty. And now 1700 levels look, very small. And same is the case in 2000, Jan 2008, we were like 6150 levels. And the index have actually grown multiple folds from these levels. So if you keep accumulating your investment, and if you do rupee cost averaging through SIPs, obviously it helps, and it helps a lot, because SIP has actually emerged as one of the most preferred investment tools, and one of the most preferred wealth creation tools in India. And there's no denying that. Just to give you a very, very small example, Now, if a person would have started an SIP in March 2000, when the market were at that point of time were at interim high, and they were nearly 17,000 levels, 1700 levels, and market started correcting, and to come back to those levels, it took good 3 years and 9 months. The market came back to 1700 levels in 2003, around December or so. Even if the person continued SIP at that point of time, they actually made 1.4 times of their investments. So obviously, it's good to keep investing, because you do a rupee cost averaging through SIPs, and the most important thing that SIP tells you is discipline. That you need to be very, very disciplined with your investments and with your money. So I think SIPs are very, very critical when it comes to retail investment.
All right, time to increase your SIP amounts, Piyush, or you think that one can really hold on and let the rally cool off?
So I'll answer it this way, Kavita. The best time to plant a tree was 10 years back. And if you want to plant a tree now, you will have to plant it really today. And that's same is the case with investments. If you wanted to invest, 10 years back was a perfect time. But if I have to start investing and I have to keep continuing investing, the time is really now. So it is not about how much I've accumulated, but how much I can accumulate is more important. Because we all believe in India growth story. Look at India 20 years back where we were, and look at India now. And I'm sure when we are discussing this something like 10, 15, or 20 years henceforth, the situation will be very, very different, and there's too much wealth to be made in these market conditions.
All right, Piyush, that will be all. Thank you so much for helping our viewers understand the importance of never stopping their SIPs, at least till the time they can afford to. Thank you so much, Piyush,
Thank
for
you.
being on
Thank
the
you
show
very much.
today.
Thank you.
Thank you.